Hello and welcome to the Conscious Cruiser. I'm Chet from Sea Lake Journeys, and with me today is Alisa from Alisa's Adventures in Cruising and Scott from Controversial Cruising. We are your conscious casters. We're here today with episode number 25, and we're going to talk about what is the perfect length of cruise for you. This is stuff you need to know before you go, and we'll be right back after this.
Welcome into the Conscious Cruiser podcast, the know before you go approach to cruising and travel. The smartest cruiser is the Conscious Cruiser. And your conscious casters, Alisa, Chet, and Scott.
All right, guys, y'all ready to get into episode number 25, the perfect length cruise?
I can't believe
I'm sorry. I just feel like 25 is some kind of milestone.
it
25.
really is.
Yeah.
There should be some celebration, some confetti, something.
It really should. I know when you take your 25th cruise, you come in to Carnival and they have it written on the mirror for you. It says Happy 25th.
Happy 25th.
That's
Happy
true.
25th episode to my conscious casters and my co-host. That's great.
Yes.
Our silver edition. Well, we should know something by now since we've been doing this for 25 times.
25 times.
Okay, hey, you know what? Our first question of the day is, in your opinion, does the length of a cruise matter to you, Scott?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's probably one of the most important things that I look at when I book, besides the actual ship itself. I want to know how long I'm going to be on that bad boy. So recently, I have been falling in love with the longer cruises, the Journeys cruises. For me, there's a lot more of cultural history and cultural things to do on those ships. One that comes to mind that I was just on this past year was Hawaii. There was luau classes, there was lei making classes, there was hula classes, there was they're not called banjos. What are they called? Oh, ukuleles. Banjo classes going to Hawaii. Ding,
The
ding.
Hawaiian banjo.
Ukulele classes. There was bracelet making classes. There was a lot of different things. There was also just a cultural history show too as well. The girls that were teaching all of the classes, they did a show in front of the main theater and taught us all about the history of Hawaii. So I like those type of things now as far as the length of cruises, because those are really only offered on Journeys cruises, excuse me. There's not too many extra things to do like that cultural wise for the short Caribbean cruises. So I'm really more out of the 3 and the 4 day cruise phase. If I'm going to go on a cruise, I want it to at least be 5. I mean, okay, if I got to do a 5, okay, but I'm really like 7+. Anything more than 7, I'm a happy camper. 5, okay, I get a little happy, but then, probably on Depart Day, I'm like, I wish I had 2 more days or 4 more days or 5 more days. So I guess 7+ is my perfect length for a cruise.
Well, that's very fancy.
Fancy. 7+.
What about you, Alisa?
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you in spirit. I definitely want to get to the longer cruises and do the Journeys type cruises. But I was thinking of it from a totally different angle, I guess. It's like, does it matter? Yeah, it matters a lot. It matters as to how much time you have available to take a cruise because of PTO or, just life things. You only can get away for a certain amount of time, and it matters because of the pricing. So yeah, it definitely does matter. It definitely does matter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it does matter to some degree, somewhat. For instance, I'm not going to book the 3-day Panama Canal cruise. That's just not for me. That's a little too fast.
Man, that'll be fast.
Can you even get out of the canal in 3 days? Is that
That's like the Concorde of cruise ships.
Yeah.
3 days.
Don't blink, you missed it. But yeah, I like them all. I've been on everything from 3 days to 14 days, and I've liked them all for different reasons. If you like the the more of the party atmosphere of the, hey, we're just here to just kind of blow out all of our life anxieties and not think about nothing but, having a fantastic party time. Then 3-4 days is the cruise for you. And there's been times where we wanted to do that. We said, you know what, we just need to blow off some steam. And, but if you want a real vacation and you want to experience stuff like Scott and Alisa's talking about, then you're going to be looking at those longer cruises, 7 or more days. The things in between those 5 and 6 days, they're great. You can kind of do a little bit of both. You can get on the ship, party that first day or two, and then chill out the next 3 or 4 days. Yeah. So the length of the cruise does matter and depends on what you're looking for in that cruise.
That's
and
correct.
You don't have to look for the same thing every time. You may want to party this cruise. You may want to relax the next cruise. And the great thing about cruising is you can do it all.
You can. You definitely can.
Yeah.
Lots of choices.
It's true, right? Yeah. So, hey, question number 2, though. What is there to know about short cruises versus long cruises? There might be a couple things we need to know. How about it, Alisa? What do you think?
Well, I generally am. I like a longer cruise. The 3 day is really, really short, but I did just recently do that on the Super Bowl at sea weekend, and it was like just what the doctor ordered. It was the right time, great people, super fun. Definitely enjoyed it, but you do need to know on a shorter cruise that it is going to be short. Like, it is going to go by in a blink of an eye. We get very excited about embarkation day, boarding day, of course, but the next day they were already giving us the disembarkation information, and we're like, what? I just got here. So it goes by fast, and like I said, it could be a good thing if that's what you're looking for, but it was a little jarring that excuse me, I just got here. Why are you talking about?
I haven't even unpacked yet. What do you mean?
Exactly. I haven't made my reservation for the spa yet. What are you talking about?
You definitely feel like it's that race against the clock, right? When you go on a 3-day, I think that's why I think also a lot of people kind of let their hair down to say, and, abuse the drink packages, I guess, a little bit more on those 3-day cruises, because you get on and you really only have 72 hours. That's it. You got no time to spare. If you're not getting the value out of your drinks, you don't have tomorrow or you don't have the next day, because you're going to be off. So I think that's definitely good to note. I also don't think that you're going to see too many families on your 3 and 4 day cruises. I think a lot of more of your family and your kids are going to be more on your 5 and 7 day, even longer cruises, rather than 5 or 7 days, because to save up all that money to go on a 3-day cruise, it's still a vacation. And of course, if that's all the means that you have and that's your vacation,
sure,
great. But most of your kid cruises, or the ones that are going to have a lot of families, that is the difference between the shorter and the longer cruises, because your 7-day cruises are really going to have a lot more families than your 3-day cruises too, as well as more activities and more things to do, because there are a lot more days at sea. You'll also get more port days with the longer cruises. Obviously, you'll probably stop at 3 ports, whereas that 3-day cruise, you're only going to get 1, and that thing is just going to turn back around and go right back to where you came from. So
again,
these are all great points. And I think one to go along with that is the pricing. We have to look at that. I remember our very first cruise was only a 4-day cruise. Left on a Monday, came back on a Friday. It had 1 port stop, Cozumel, but that was all we could afford at the time. It was a 4-day cruise, and we thought it was the best thing in the world because we had nothing to compare it to. It was great. And sometimes pricing is a factor. I know, like, Royal Caribbean's got the new Icon class ships coming out, and they got one of them dedicated to just 3 and 4 day cruises. Right. And they did that specifically because they know a lot of people, like we was years ago when we were younger, we can't afford to get a 7-day cruise on a ship like that. The pricing is just too high. So they were pretty smart. I know a lot of people have questioned it. Why would you only get on that ship for 3 days? You can't see all of it. I get it. You're only going to see deck 7 and deck 16 in those 3 days, but at least that's something you can get on there and experience it and know that, hey, we're going to go again next year. We're going to save up more money and see if we can get a longer cruise on a ship like it. So I think it was a great strategy, knowing the price point and knowing there's people who cannot get the longer cruises, so they're going to go after those shorter ones. And that's one of the big differences also between 3 and 4 day cruises and those longer ones.
Yes, definitely. And I also think, bringing up the 4-day cruise, Chet, I personally think between 4 and 5 days for all of those new cruisers out there that are thinking about kind of toe dipping and new cruisers that I have also taken on myself, right, that are going to have a very new experience because they've never cruised before. I think a 4 and a 5 day cruise for those first time cruisers is a really good committing cruise, right? Because you're on there for 4 days or 5 days. So let's just say worst comes to worst, you get on there and 2 days in, you really don't like it, or it's not for you. It's not the way that you want a vacation. Well, you only have 2 more days and you're going to be back home, right? Now imagine if that was a 14-day or a 10-day cruise and you said, let's just do it. Let's do it big, YOLO, right? You get on and now you're like day 2, you're like, wow, I hate it here. I don't know why you would say that, but you'd be like, oh, I don't want to be here. And now you have 8 more days. So I think the 4 and the 5 day in my experience has worked out really well for those first time cruisers to, kind of toe dip and see if they really like cruising. And if this is something that they really want to commit to, or they want to be.
I think people do. I think a lot of people use, I'm going to take away a day from you there, Scott. I think the 3 and 4 day cruises, people really are trying to, some new cruisers are really trying to test the waters and see if it's literally something that they think that they can deal with or want to be a part of. But I do think that those shorter cruises can be a different experience than what we're talking about on the week longs and week long plus. And so, we're like, we did this and we did that and we saw this and we saw that. And you come back from a 3-day cruise and they didn't get to see any of that. Right. So, it's about testing it out and seeing if you like being on a ship or being on the water, or, if you're worried about whether or not you can swim that far or drink that much water, or all those things that people say. It can kind of have the reverse effect too, where you're not getting the full experience. And so you think, what are they talking about? It wasn't that great. Like, you were only on it for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
You might have needed more time. So I get why people want to try to test test it out. I just don't know. I'd be interested to hear what our viewers think, if that's like, if it was effective or if it was a deterrent. Did it help them make the decision to go longer, or they were like, nope, that's good, I'm good, no more.
Yeah, don't be scared off by the time chasers, because it's really not all like that. All cruisers are not like that, where it's all party, because I've definitely heard of, people going on for their first time and on a 3-day cruise and go, I'm never going to go back. All it was a party. I'm like, well, you go on a 7-day cruise. That's not, what it is really like. So that's a really good point that you brought up, Alisa.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to people that they don't understand why it's like that, but it really is. If you're party time for 3 and 4 days, and longer ones are definitely more chill, so hopefully everybody listening here to us on Spotify today, the Conscious Cruiser, and also today listening on Sea Lake Journeys on the YouTube channel, you'll take some of this advice so that your next cruise can be the best one you've ever had. And it's your first one, it can be the best one you've ever had. And you know what? Today's show is sponsored by one of my favorite people in the world. That's right, Alisa.
This episode of The Conscious Cruiser is sponsored and supported by Alisa's Adventures in Cruising and the Monday Mood Check. Check out the Monday Mood Check every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. For some exciting cruise talk, munch pack reviews, and even some home cooking. So start of your week right every week with Alisa and the Monday Mood Check. Don't miss it. And now back to the Conscious Cast.
Uh-oh, what did I do?
There we are.
Something else.
That time is correct on there. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 7 p.m.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
7 p.m. tonight. Don't miss it. Monday Mood Check.
Monday Mood Check tonight.
Come on.
I'm going to beat Scott there too, by the way. Just saying. Okay, guys, question number 3 for you. This is a fill in the blank, and everybody out there listening, also fill this blank in for yourself. The perfect length of a cruise for me is how many days? How many days is your perfect length cruise, Scott?
I feel like we're playing the match game, Chet.
We are.
We
We need the music.
Fill in the blank. This is the first time I
We need
like
the music.
Okay, so the perfect length cruise for me is an 8-day cruise. I'm going to go right in between a 7 and a 10, and I'm going to say the perfect length for me is, oh, look at that. Cruise Life TV is an 8-day cruise. That is my perfect amount of cruise. Actually, you want to know what? Oh, no. I'm going to up it. It's a 9-day cruise. I don't think there's too many of those out there, but yeah, just because it's multiples of 3. So yeah, a 9-day cruise is my favorite, is the perfect length cruise for me.
What about you, Alisa?
I'm gonna say currently, and I've been telling. I think we had this conversation around Christmas time, where the 7-day is the perfect size for me. Anyone shopping for a gift, I'm a size 7-day cruise. I do think that that's the perfect length for me right now, but I do want to take longer cruises. So when PTO is not an issue, your vacation time from work is not an issue, I hope to be doing longer cruises. But for now, that works really well. I feel like it's enough time to go and unwind and, see something different and, just come back rejuvenated. So I like a 7-day.
I do too.
I wish I could do it every time because I really love the 14-day.
Yeah.
Back to back, 2 7 days back to back, or regular 14. But at least a 7. Anywhere between 7 and 14, I would prefer to be the 14 myself.
Sure.
Robin from Sea Lake Journeys, she would prefer like a 600-day cruise.
What
they
are those,
haven't
world
invented
cruises?
that yet. But
World cruises.
Double world.
But yeah, there's, we started off, like I say, with just that 4-day cruise, and we thought that was fantastic. And then the longer we went, the better it got.
Yeah.
And we've done one of those journey cruises too, like you're talking about, Scott. And I think it was, I want to say it was a 10 or 11 day. And wow, you really get into that length of a cruise, and it's even more different than a 7-day is to a 3-day. Well, when you step up to like 10 days or more over a 7-day, it's another difference. It's a whole nother level yet.
Yeah.
So I recommend everybody try that. Just saying.
You know what else? Go ahead, Alisa.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Scott or Chet, when you guys did your land and sea Alaska, how many days was that?
That was 12 total days.
12 days.
And it's fantastic. It wasn't long enough. I wish it had been 14 days also. The 7-day cruise and then 5 days on land. I wish we'd had 2 more days on land.
Oh wow.
It was fantastic.
I bet. And those longer cruises, they come with one of my favorite things, extra formal nights.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
I think the 7-day cruises, or maybe the 6, but the 7-day cruises have 2 formal nights. And even if you don't dress up, the food is a little bit more elevated, right? On the two formal nights, you get your lobster, right? There's prime rib, you have different steaks. And even if you don't go to the main dining room, some of those are offered up on the Lido deck, not the lobster, I'm sorry. But, you can still get the prime rib up up on the carving station and things like that. So I love me some formal nights, even if I don't go dressed up, because I will go to the buffet and I will eat everything formal there. And then I'll probably slip and go down to the main dining room and also eat everything formal there. I love them. Double formal nights, give them to me. I love it.
Yes. Well, we all like to dress up, so sounds good to me.
Yes, I'm loving it. I love everything about the longer stuff. But hey, a question of the cast. Here you go, guys. This is really a big one. Do you do your laundry on a cruise? Do you, Alisa?
Not as I know it's a great way to like pack less so that you could, you just do some laundry and then you can extend. Well, not extend. You can pack less clothing, but still feel like you're prepared for your whole cruise. I have sent things down like for formal night. I've set a dress or two down to be pressed, that kind of thing. But I don't send like a bag of laundry down. Now, I know some people have a certain status that's a gimme.
I wonder who that would be.
And I have been on Royal Caribbean where I've thought about stuff in that bag, for, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be like around $35, something like that, just so you could have everything nice and fresh when you put it back in the suitcase to go back home. But I don't normally do that. I just throw it in the suitcase and get off the ship.
I don't blame you. $35 to do a bag of laundry back then. I could just imagine what it is now. So I probably wouldn't even do it if I didn't have the status that I had with Carnival. But on the adverse, I actually do take advantage of that. With Carnival, I believe on 7-day sailings, I believe you get 3 bags of laundry. Anything more than that, you get like 5 plus. Diamond members. So Bill, if you're in here, he gets unlimited. So I guess he can just do his laundry every single day.
Of course he does, Bill.
But I definitely do. I bring a little hamper. I think I've shared that too as well on here. And once it kind of gets halfway full, I try to send it in. I really do not like to come home from vacation with dirty laundry. Like that's one of my, like, if I could not ever come home with dirty laundry, I would, because I'm one of those unpackers as soon as I get somewhere. So if I'm in my stateroom, I'm unpacking, right? Same thing when I get home. And you guys are all going to be like, well, Scott's psycho. He unpacks as soon as he gets home. Yeah, I do. And I like to put things away. I don't like to have piles of laundry. Good. Dishes in the sink. It's just I don't. So those 3 bags of laundry, yeah, did they get used? 75% of them. And on the longer cruises, yeah, I definitely use them, especially for Hawaii, where I was sweating and I wanted to wear some of those Hawaiian shirts again, or I had my undershirts too that I was sweating through. I'm sure people did not want to smell me in the main dining room and be like, wow, it smells like the pork that we had at the luau. No, it was this guy that smelled like the pork at the luau. Sorry, guys. No, I definitely exercise and use my laundry accordingly. And for those who don't, I'm really sorry, because I know it is expensive. I think Carnival does it like an a la carte style. So like a pair of socks is like $1.75 or something like that. So I could just imagine you adding that all up. I've never actually done that. But if you do, I'm sure it could be upwards of $35, $40, $50, like Alisa was saying, for Royal. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But since it's free for me, I do exercise it. I probably wouldn't as much if that wasn't a perk that came with the loyalty status. So,
yeah, we do the same thing, Scott. The loyalty status with Platinum on Carnival, it's like, send it on out. Why not?
Why not?
And especially, you get 7-day cruise, you get there and it's like Wednesday. Hey, all this stuff we've worn, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, send it out, get it cleaned up, less dirty clothes anyway. And I'll tell you one thing I like about Carnival and Princess is they have the laundry rooms where you can run down and use a washer or dryer yourself if you want to. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the status and you say, well, I really got to wash this stuff. They usually got the laundry rooms right down the hall from you. And they're not that expensive, no more expensive than land laundromats, I think. And they have iron down there too.
Yeah. Yes.
And I believe Lisa mentioned this on another episode, where you get your clothes unpacked as soon as you get onto the ship, and you go, I'm going to iron this thing now while there's nobody in there ironing nothing on embarkation day.
Right.
Run down there, iron that shirt you're going to wear for formal night, iron that dress, iron that pair of socks, wherever you need to do, and hang them up. And wow, it's a great time to do it. That was a great tip, and I wanted to bring it back up today. So laundry on a cruise ship, hey, if you got to do it, you got to do it.
That's right. Yeah. And I always take care of my room steward too. So I'll, when you fill out the thing and you stuff the bag and you fold it, I'll hand it to my room steward and I'll hand them like a $5 tip. And they absolutely lay it up. And sometimes you might put, come back tomorrow and for the bag, and that $5 tip will actually find your laundry the same day. I've even had that where I've checked, tomorrow, and I come back at 5:00, it's already standing there. Yeah. I've actually came back, and my room steward, he made a towel animal that wrapped around my bag of laundry, my clean bag of laundry. And I believe it was like a frog or a bear or something. I don't know. But he had arms and he was holding my bag of laundry on my bed. I'm like,
cute.
You're a mutant.
That's fun. I was gonna say, the times that I have sent stuff down to be laundered or pressed or whatever, like the cabin steward has taken such like ownership of that garment. Like they're gonna make sure it gets to you. Like so, they don't be afraid to like give it to them, or think you're not gonna get it back or never see it again. I don't know what they do, but it's like it's like they put a tracker on it. They know exactly where it is in the process and give you updates.
They do
and give you updates. So yeah,
that's kind of your bonus tip for today out there, listeners, is that money talks. It talks just as much on sea as it does on land. The more you tip, the quicker and better service you're going to get. And what Scott and Alisa said, we've done the same thing. You attach a dead president to that stuff, and suddenly it happens a whole lot faster. It really does.
Faster. Yep, 110%. And it's just obviously, somebody who is making sure that my laundry gets to the right people and then back to me. That deserves a dead president in my book.
Yes.
And we always say about, just talking to your cabin steward, I always feel like they are a wealth of information and they want to do a good job and help you to have the best time ever. So, talk to them, have conversation. I know sometimes it's difficult with, language barriers but if they make the effort, you should definitely reciprocate and talk to them. You should be talking.
Good morning. You could say good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Treat them well, and they're going to treat you so well.
You betcha. Great tips right here today, guys. Fantastic topic here today. The length of your cruise, does it matter? Anybody got any final thoughts on this? Any extra tip that maybe you've thought about while we're talking that somebody out there needs to know before they go on deciding between a 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 38-day cruise?
Well, we talk about we obviously we love cruising and we cruise often, and I forget sometimes that we have folks who are listening to us and watching us because they want to know for the first time that they get to do it, or they're thinking about going on a cruise, or maybe are unsure. So the biggest tip is that if you have the opportunity to do a 3, 4, 5, 7 day cruise, go for it. If it works for your timetable, it works for your price point, it just works, go for it. Do not be afraid to get on the cruise ship. Go and have the best time for whatever time you have on there.
That's right. Whatever opportunity for cruising in my book, whether it's a 3-day or a 15, 16, 17, 22 day, if you get the opportunity, I would not pass it up. And I hope you come back and you let us know your cruising experience, and let us know too as well in the comments. If you're listening to this on the replay or listening to this on Spotify, let us know your perfect length cruise and tell us why it's your perfect length cruise. For us, maybe 4 years ago, if you asked Alisa, her perfect length cruise was 4 and now it's 7, right? Maybe we met. She goes, no, never.
It was never.
But we want to know a little bit more about your guys' story too. So share with us a little bit why your perfect length cruise is what it is. So stick me on a Journeys cruise and teach me about Hawaii, and I'll leave me in Hawaii.
I'm waiting for that 3-day Hawaiian cruise.
Yes.
No. I'm going on a back.
All right. Hey, we've had a great episode here, everybody. So don't forget to follow us on Spotify, and be sure to tell your friends, your neighbors, people you know, people you don't know, to get over there and follow us on Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe to our channels too: Alisa's Adventures in Cruising, Controversial Cruising, and Sea Lake Journeys. We have a great time here. And anybody have any idea what we're going to do next week for episode 26?
I have no idea. What are we doing? What are we going to talk about?
Somebody can leave it in the comments.
What do you guys want us to talk about next week? What has been a jarring cruise topic that you guys just want to know more? We want to hear. That's a good idea, Chet. I like it.
Excellent. Okay, guys, we've had a great time. So,
Thanks, everybody.
yeah, on behalf of Alisa from Alisa's Adventures in Cruising, Scott from Controversial Cruising, I'm Chet from Sea Lake Journeys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week at 8:30 on Spotify.
Bye,
See
guys.
you later.
I'm beating you today in the Monday Mood Check, Chet.
Oh, no.
I'm beating you.
There's room for everybody.
Welcome into the Conscious Cruiser podcast, the know before you go approach to cruising and travel. The smartest cruiser is the Conscious Cruiser. And your conscious cast